had to be you. It had to be you.
Marla.
I wandered around.
Marla, honey, we gotta go. Come on, we gotta go.
I sing it to Nelson, ain't I, baby?
You sure are.
Welcome to Something Crunchy, the Valley's #1 comedy entertainment podcast. Biscuit is homies with Blake. Blake is the older brother of Blair, and Blair is married to Biscuit. Here are your hosts, Colin Blake with Blair and Tyler Dressel.
All right. Welcome to Something Crunchy. I'm Colin Blake. With me, as always, Blair and Tyler Dressel. We have another incredibly crunchy guest joining us tonight. You've seen her in shows like Drunk History, Friends, and Home Improvement, movies like Robin Hood, Men in Tights, For Richer or Poorer, and of course, you know her best for playing Marla Hooch in A League of Their Own. Please welcome Megan Cavanagh.
Thanks for the applause, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. How are you, Megan?
I am well. How are you?
So good. We are excited to have you on. We're huge fans and been looking forward to this.
I'm glad to be here.
It feels foolish to say we love A League of Their Own. Everyone loves A League of Their Own. It is without question one of our collective favorite movies. We talk about it all the time. And I realized recently it was A League of Their Own that officially ushered me into my first phase of old manhood. Yelling out clouds. The transition officially started when I was watching some Peaches and said, you know, they just don't make them like this anymore. I expounded, and I'll spare you from all of that. Nothing you don't know. So what questions do you get most often for playing legendary second baseman Marla Hooch?
I get, people ask me if I did my own hitting, which I did. I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I was doing 85 miles an hour both sides.
Oh,
by the time, yeah, I couldn't do it again if you paid me, but back when I was 30, and that's how old I was when I did the movie. I was, I had to learn to bat left-handed, which I did, and then I had great coaching, and we did a lot of workouts and stuff. So we had a couple of months of training before we ever even went to Chicago and started shooting. So, I was very grateful for that. And Rod Dato, he was the head coach of USC, and he was our captain, our everything, our general manager. He was the guy. And he was such a kind and loving man. He was from New Orleans, and he had us all down to his beach house in LA. And he was just a wonderful person. And it was just the best time of my life. I got into this movie without an agent because I didn't have an agent when I did it. Everything fell into place. And I had the opportunity, to work with all of those amazing stars. My character was a much bigger character initially in the script. I was the fourth lead. So my name was between Tom Hanks and Madonna's on the call sheet.
It was my huge. First, that's so exciting.
It was my first movie, and I would just be looking at the call sheet it was really something. And so much got cut. The original movie that Penny put together was 4.5 hours long.
You're kidding.
Wow. Yeah. So she had to cut 2.5 hours. And I went with a lot of that, but it was okay for me. I was so grateful to be in that movie. I could have been an extra and I would have been happy. It was just surreal. It was a surreal experience, and it was my first movie. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Everyone had to play baseball to be considered. So we know it was actually you hitting the ball, and that's nuts that you could actually switch hit like you did in the gym, 85 miles an hour. Megan, that's incredible.
It was amazing.
Was there anyone else that stood out on set for being able to play really well?
Oh, there were some good players. Everybody had to be trainable. That was they made everybody play ball before they even read an actress.
Wow.
It was, So there were these games that they set up, and you had to go and you had to show your skills. And I mean, every actress in LA was auditioning at the time. It was like the stars back then, like, Leah Thompson and Paula Poundstone and Brooke Shields. And, it was the old guard. And it was so amazing. And I snuck into the game for my audition because Kathleen York, who is an actress and a singer, she goes by the name of Bird, and she was Oscar nominated for her song in Crash, the movie Crash.
Yeah.
She was auditioning, and my roommate Jeff was a trainer, and so that's how I got into this. She called. This is back when we had answering machines. She called our apartment looking for him, and I answered, and we started talking, and she said, "I detect a Midwestern accent. Are you from the Midwest?" I said, "Yeah, I'm from Chicago." And she said, "Me too." And we started talking, and she said, "Well, they're doing this movie, and do you play ball?" And I said, "I've played some ball." And she said, "Well, they're making women play baseball before they can read. You should really try to get in on this. Amanda Mackey is the casting director." She gave me her phone number. She gave me the script. I read it. I was like, "Oh, I'd like to be Marla." Like, I was naive enough to think that I could go for that. And that helped because I just went for it, and it was just amazing. And Amanda Mackey answered the phone, not her assistant. When I called, everything just fell into place. And I was so tongue-tied when she answered the phone. I was like, "Oh, hi, my name's Megan, and Kathleen York gave me your phone number." And I just was like, and I said, "I really would like to get in on a game. I'd like to audition for this." And she said, "Listen, the game is full for this week coming up, but I can see about getting you in next week's game. Send me all your stuff, your picture and resume, and remind me that we talked." And I said, "Okay, great." So I knew there was a game, and I knew the date of the game of the next game. So when I went with Kathleen to her audition, I was warming up with her, and they said, "Okay, all the actresses stay on the field, everybody else go to the stands." And she grabbed my shirt and said, "Stay." And I was like, "Oh my God, no." And then people were coming up, they came up to me, they were like, it was all celebrities and me. And they were like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Well, I talked to Amanda."
They want me to.
I know someone. I promise.
You know Amanda, right?
Right. I talked to Amanda, and she said I could play in next week's game, but I'd really rather play in this week's game. And they were like, "Okay, go get a jersey." And I was like, well, that was easy. So, and then I played the most inspired ball of my life. It was crazy. I played really, really well, and they came up to me and they were like, "Now, who are you and who are you with?" And I had a commercial agent that was attached to a theatrical department that I had just signed with. I didn't know anybody. And so I called them and left a message on their answering machine going, "Oh, hi. Yeah, I auditioned for this movie, and they might be calling you on Monday." And they did. They did. And
oh my God, they were probably like, "Man, Megan, sign."
It was wild. I mean, they didn't know what to do with me because I was a character actress, and they, back then especially, they just, it was like blonde-haired white girls, that was the thing, and I was like, they just didn't know what to do with me at all. So it was, they learned to.
You see the script, and obviously Marla's a big character. Was there anything especially daunting or intimidating about playing Marla, or was it easier because she was bashful in nature?
Yeah. I'm kind of a loudmouth, and it was hard for me not to talk a lot when we were playing ball. I'm more like Rosie, "Bring it in, come on."
Okay. Oh, that's funny.
Oh my
It's
God,
the chatter.
I'm a
You
yeller.
gotta have it.
You had to be quiet, Marla.
Well, my character was so quiet that I thought I can't be like Rosie's character. I can't be, and that's how I play ball. I talk a lot.
That's how you're supposed to.
that would
Yeah.
be really hard.
You're not
And
talking
so-
smack while playing ball. You're not playing right.
That's right. Well, and some of the old gals, the real players, were there, and they were consulting. Pepper Pear Davis was our biggest
Wow.
consultant, and she they had given us all these words to say, like that were 40s words. I can't remember any of them right now, but when I have a list of them,
Dirt in a Skirt was one of them, wasn't it?
Right. Yes. And oh gosh, I should have grabbed my script before you guys. I called you guys.
We really wish you would have, Megan. You didn't think to grab the script?
Come on.
No.
I had all the. You know what? I think it's right here. I'm just gonna look.
How cool to have that script, though. I mean,
it's the best. And I have my call sheets, and I have.
Did you take anything else?
Let me think. They gave us our uniforms.
That's amazing.
And I ended up getting to go to Cooperstown Hall of Fame. They flew me on a jet, and I gave them my uniform, and they gave me like an induction. I have the I'm not kidding you guys.
Cool.
I have the beautiful wool jersey that says I think it says Cavanagh 32, or it says Hooch. I can't remember. It says Hall of Fame on the front. It's got the Cooperstown label on it. I can come anytime. I can come back there anytime I want. It was just amazing. It was me.
Special.
And
That is
that's
really
a big
special.
deal.
it really was. It was me and Penny Marshall and Tracy Reiner and Lori Petty. And I think Gary came too. Yeah, Gary came. But me and Lori and Tracy gave our uniforms. And it was just, okay, here it is. I found it. Oh my God, I found it. Okay. So this is baseball jargon from that time. A pot holder was a first baseman's glove. A petticoat ball was a strike at the knees.
Oh.
Alan Nesbitt was a knuckleball. A jitterbug was a nervous player. A crybaby was the manager who complains to the ump. Tugboat Annie was a tough and rugged player. So they had all this stuff, they had and you could yell things like "quiet the diet," which means fatten up the batting average. And, but I learned all this stuff, but I couldn't be the one to do it.
To use it, because you had a more quiet character.
Right.
You did all your talking with the bat, and that's okay. It only got you into the Hall of Fame. No big deal.
And the batter's box. Nobody else has done as much as you with the batter's box, let me tell you.
I mean, A League of Their Own might be one of the most quotable movies ever made. Do you have a favorite line from the movie?
I have a lot of favorite lines. I love that's good advice.
Absolutely. I knew you were going to start with that one. It comes up often.
Our fathers say that to us all the time.
Good advice.
There's a quote for every occasion.
There is.
Yeah, there is. There really is. And it's just so great to have been part of it. And I heard Tom Hanks giving an interview, and he said this was his favorite movie to film. Because his family got to be there. He got to play baseball. He got to eat. They wanted him to be heavier than he got. He was hanging out with women all day. Like, he just said it was the best experience, and that was the most fun he'd had on a movie.
I can imagine that would be incredibly fun with all of you together. Like, what a great time.
Oh, it really was. But back in those days, they would take like a whole day to do like a minute of a movie. So it was a very, very slow process. So we were always playing ball sort of between stuff, just to like keep warmed up. And because, we were shooting outside, and there were so many weather variables. So you had to be ready for the scenes. If it were to rain, you had a cover set. So, you had to know the script more so than in other movies, because you just didn't know what was going to happen, kind of, Yeah.
You said, this was Tom Hanks's favorite movie to film. Was it your favorite? Was there another project that you liked better?
God. I did 2 movies with Mel Brooks, and that was pretty awesome.
Man, is he cool?
Penny Marshall or Mel Brooks. That is
Megan.
So tough. These are good problems to have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hardball questions for Megan.
And since League was my first movie, there's that. It's and I got to play baseball. I mean, and it's the one that has the longest shelf life.
It does.
It'll last forever.
Yeah. People are sending me. They're like, I'm on the plane flying from O'Hare to wherever, and look at the movie. And they send me like a still of the movie, and I get these from friends all the time. Like, I'm like, it's playing, man. It's playing places.
It's always playing.
It is always playing.
Well, last year was our 30th anniversary, and they did a lot of yeah, I did a lot of appearances. I get to go to ballparks and throw out first pitches, and I get
how
paid.
cool is
Fun.
that?
It's just so great, you guys. I threw a strike at Wrigley and at Fenway. I was like,
yes.
the only two ballparks I care about.
Not everyone gets to say that. That's cool.
You can still do it. I mean, man.
Well, I mean, it was a slow throw, but it was right over the plate. And the catcher at Fenway came up to me and he said, "That was money."
Nailed it.
I like that your first quote you threw out there was a Tom Hanks quote. And of course, it would have to be a Jimmy Dugan. It's the heart that makes a great speech to Dottie. That's the grade A top choice, certified, quotable. Right
and he was my favorite person to work with.
Really?
Tom Hanks was?
He taught me set etiquette, like how to be on a set, how to act, how to, come to a set, how to be. And he was a great mentor. And I was, he one day, it was Penny's birthday. It was in October, and we were shooting out in the middle of nowhere with the bus scenes going down the road and all that. And they had hired a bagpiper and a horse to come over a ridge and play the bagpipes of Happy Birthday. And he grabbed me and started dancing with me. Like, he was just so fun. He was just always like, "Come here, Cavanagh,"
Oh, I love that.
He's just a great guy.
Oh,
and I have
awesome.
pictures of us dancing. And you guys, every time I talk about this movie, I get so excited. It was just such an amazing, amazing time in my life. And I get it now when the older players who were like my age-ish when they came to the set, now we're their age, and they would talk so fondly about playing in the league and how important it was for them, and that they were keeping baseball alive. That was, they really took that to heart, and they played with injuries, and they pushed the bus out of the mud, and they played a lot. You guys are going to kill me. A lot of night games.
Well played.
They played more night games than day games because people worked, and like they just didn't have as many day games. They had a lot of night games, and they were so the women talking about playing, and all we wanted to do when we did this movie was make them proud. That's the only thing we cared about. We didn't know if this was going to go straight to video back then, because we didn't have a clue. It was for many of us, it was our first movie. Plus, they shoot it out of order, so you never know,
what the end result is going to be.
Right. What takes they're going to use, or anything. So, so we were just hopeful, that we were going to do right by these women, and we did.
Yeah, you got to keep it alive for the next generation and inspire a whole new generation, and that's important. And you guys really did play rough out there and got your bruises too. Like, the bruises and injuries from the movie were real, were they not?
That's right. I mean, that giant bruise that Renee Coleman has is real.
No.
Like, that's
absolutely.
Crazy.
No,
she had to
real?
slide so many times. And she had that freaking bruise. A year later, she had discoloration still on her thigh.
Oh, my God.
Unreal.
Yeah.
That thing got me. I was like, whoa, that's good makeup. Holy cow.
It was real. And that's Penny. She's a great filmmaker. And when I don't know if that was in the script or not, I should go back and look. If that bruise was actually part of the script, but she definitely was like, "Oh no, we got to get this."
We're
on film.
using that, absolutely. It's too good not to use.
And the women that play the real players, they say, I still have gravel in my thigh right here, like I still got piece of, like, embedded.
That had to hurt.
1946 or whatever.
We know that was you really playing baseball out there. Was that really you singing too?
It was, but I sing better than I do in the movie.
That is not a surprise. That is one of the most memorable scenes in film history.
Absolutely.
I sing to Blair that song at least once or twice a week.
It is true, and I love it so much.
Has anyone ever asked you to perform that at their wedding or anything?
All the time. Oh my God, all the time.
I'm sure.
And I say, no. I did it once at my niece's wedding, promising everybody to not record it, and nobody recorded it. That was the caveat, because it's so much better in the movie. I mean, me singing it at age 50 is not the same as
I disagree. I disagree. I'd get married just for the Marla if I knew that was a thing. You'd make a killing.
I am kind of jealous other people have had that. I mean, wow.
We can get remarried, Blair. You want to get
for Megan and our Marla Hooch moment? I'm here for it. Okay.
You mentioned Tom Hanks was kind of the most impactful actor to work with on set. Who was your favorite Peach to work with?
That's a very hard question. I loved everybody. I was closest probably with Tracy, and on the Racine team. So in the movie, Marla gets traded to Racine. This all got cut. But Marla gets traded to Racine to be near her husband, Nelson, who makes cheese. And they, at their wedding, they get, this is a gift from the league that they're doing this. And Marla plays in all the games, Racine against the Peaches. And they brought in this Luma crane, which is this enormous crane that they only had like one of in the industry. And they, different movies would have to sign it out kind of. And they brought in the Luma crane, and we did this big stunt. And Marla's pregnant at the time. So Dottie slides into Marla, takes her out of the game. Marla goes to the hospital, and Marla's going to lose her baby. This is part of the story. That is why she's crying in the scene. I could see everything gets edited and it gets changed.
Wow.
So if you look at the end of the movie,
we're there.
Older Marla is wearing a dark blue sweatshirt. That's the Racine team.
That's
the
right.
Peaches are in white. But nobody knows that. She comes up and goes, "Remember me?"
Wow.
And she's in the Racine kind of, outfit for, So that's just a little something. So I was playing on Racine too, and Janet Jones, who's Wayne Gretzky's wife, she was my next door neighbor in Trailerville. And so she and I hung out. We hung out a lot together because we were next door neighbors. And we had a lot of, she's a really good player. Oh my God. There's a quick montage of her. She does like a roll and then throws it sort of sidearm.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
I can see it in my head right now. Yes.
There were so many good players. Robin Knight, Patty Pelton, Rosie was a great player. So was Lori. Lori is so fast. She could run so fast, and she had to pretend to run slower. With
that
Gina.
form was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of really good. Rosie could make the throw from third to first from day one. Everybody else was sort of,
Rosie.
there was we had some real players and people who could play, and then
there was Gina.
She is amazing.
Was she really?
Gina's Mensa. She's Mensa. She is so smart and so funny and classy. She's just elegant, and she came in. She and Madonna both had not played baseball, either of them. And Madonna was just wanted to be the best player in the world. She worked so hard. Cool. She would work out before we would get together and do all of our 8-hour workout. She
really
she had a trainer, and that she would have her trainer make her run, I don't know how many miles and do all this stuff before she ever even came in the morning to and then she'd say, if anybody wants to stay and play, when it was starting to get dark, she said, I'll buy dinner. And so, wow. we'd stay and play until you couldn't see the ball. And then we'd all go out to dinner, and then the waiters would fight over who gets to wait on Madonna. Right. And we'd be starving. She was very hardworking. And
Oh, that's
You know,
crazy.
Oh, wow.
Everyone
Yeah.
loves these fun facts and did you know? I can't get over how much was cut about your character. So Marla gets traded, she gets pregnant, she gets hurt. Like, did you give any pushback? Like after
Are you kidding?
any of this happened when you got married and had to leave the team?
Those checks still cleared the same.
So that's right. So when I went to a screening, I wasn't, I went incognito. A friend of a friend got tickets and said, and I got invited and I wasn't allowed to do this. And Penny and all the producers and everybody were there. And I was pregnant in real life. Like I got pregnant during the movie and my ex-husband was with me and I got pregnant on the movie and I was like really pregnant. I didn't make it to the premiere because that was my due date.
No way.
Oh, gosh.
Yes. I went back to Chicago like a week before the LA riots happened to go home to have my baby. And I was really glad I did that because our neighborhood was pretty scary with gunfire and all this stuff. Anyway,
My gosh.
yeah, it was crazy. I went to this screening with a friend and, I'm watching, you're in the movie theater, big screen. And I'm in like my husband's thick Coke bottle glasses and I'm wearing a trench coat. Like I just totally like went incognito. And when they do the reveal, when I take my hat off and lift my head up, I gasped. I mean, I went, oh, like that. And I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And I started to cry. It was so surreal to have my head be that big, right on the
can't imagine.
Screen.
And I'm watching it with somebody I don't know. And I'm just like, oh my God, and then they get to the scene where I get married and then, see you next, they're like, bye, whatever. And then we moved on and I was like, oh, I'm not in the rest of the movie.
I guess that's it.
Yeah, we don't know
So
what's left in the movie.
Right. But I knew that I was not, I didn't get traded. I didn't that none of that, even we filmed all that, none of that ended up in the film. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. So when we went to go do ADR, I pretended like I didn't know this. And Penny was like, oh, yeah, I'm real sorry about that. But the movie was too long and we had to cut you. And I'm really sorry about that. I was like,
That's perfect. That's such a good Penny Marshall.
Is that such a
Penny
good
Marshall.
That was so good.
That's so good at that impression.
Oh my God.
If you didn't do it, I
she
was
was
going to
so
ask
funny.
you eventually, but that's incredible.
My favorite thing is when we were filming the scene at the train station. And
best
Love it.
scene.
I had to cry so much in that, and we did so many takes, and I couldn't cry anymore. Until she comes up to me and she goes, all right, listen, I'm going to get you some ammonia tablets. And what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to say action. You're going to snap it, sniff it, and then we're going to roll. Okay, so just go. And I was like, okay. So I did this like all day. Cry. I could have cleaned the floor with my face. I had sniffed so much ammonia, and I thought I'm going to have the biggest headache tomorrow.
Oh, no.
And then after that, we had to go do a scene that we weren't planning on doing, but the sunset was perfect. I don't know whatever happened. She was just like, "We're doing this scene," and it was me eating on the train. It didn't end up in the movie. It is a hilarious scene because it's all being improv by Lovitz, who, I'm supposed to be like shoveling food. So I've done all these ammonia tablets and now I have to eat. And she said, we're going to have a spit bucket for you, but they never caught. So I could never spit. So I was just like eating and drinking like giant glasses of milk and like eating and drinking this milk and like just, and I almost burst out laughing because Lovitz was being so funny, but I thought, I cannot laugh. Like, I just put my head down and just kept shoveling food in because I couldn't laugh. Like, it was a tense moment. We were trying to get this shot with the sunset, and oh yeah, it was crazy.
The finished product was really good, though, and that was such a memorable scene at the train station, and takes off with the flag in the background, the reflection.
I love that flag.
So great.
That's so great. People are bombarding me on my phone right now. It's like, stop, no, I'm doing a podcast.
Excuse me, she's getting crunchy right now.
I'm getting crunchy. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
So which peach would be most fun to take to a party?
I guess it would depend on the party. Let's see.
True.
Good answer. True.
Let's see. I think that I would say, oh God, they're all great. Annie Q is really fun. Annie Cusack, she played Shirley. You
yeah.
could read. Annie Ramsey's hilarious. She played first base. Has anyone seen my new red hat?
Yes, Helen.
Helen, right?
Oh, piss on your red hat.
She's really funny. You guys, that is a hard question. But Penny used to throw these epic parties, and not very many peaches would come.
Aw.
It was me and Tracy, and Rosie came one year. Madonna was there one year. Penny and Carrie Fisher threw birthday parties together, and
It's a fun party.
they were like an enormous star-studded thing. And like, I brought my husband the first year. He said, "Yeah, I'm not going back." He's like, "I'm out," because they were so intimidating. They're like,
Yeah.
you'd walk in the door. On my right is Harrison Ford, Danny DeVito, Jack Nicholson, and Arnold Schwarzenegger talking. To my left
Wow.
was Barbara Streisand, Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman. I was like, I couldn't say excuse me to anybody. I just stood at the door because I was blocked by these two like major celebrity groups. It was crazy. And then Penny hands me her camera and says, "Take pictures for me." And I'm like, "Oh, that's what I want to do at an A-list party." People are looking at me like, "You dirty rat, who are you?" I was like, "This is Penny's camera. She's asking me to take pictures." They're looking at me like, "Yeah, right."
Sure.
Oh, it was hilarious. But yeah, so we still get together at the Peaches.
You do?
Yes, we had a reunion. Not all of us, but many of us. We had a reunion at Wrigley Field for the 30th, and we get together sometimes at Christmas. We'd get
That's
together at
cool.
Annie Q's apartment, and when she had an apartment. And yeah, so this last time we got together, I mean, the group that generally shows up
Yeah.
is Annie Ramsey, Annie Cusack, Tracy, Lori comes sometimes, Patty Pelton, me, Freddie Simpson showed up, Renee Coleman showed up. Anybody think about? Don't forget anybody. Biddy Schramm came once. So I mean, we do try to get together and see each other because we're like a little dysfunctional family,
Well, I love that. What a fun
Yeah.
group.
Oh, it's so great.
Well, which actor was most and who was really least like their character?
Rosie was most like her character.
Okay.
He's believing that.
And
Yeah.
so was Madonna. She was like that.
All the way May? No way.
And when Rosie says, "You think there's some people in this world who haven't seen your bosoms?" Yeah.
Something else I say to Blair once or twice a week.
Oh, that's hilarious. Let's see. Who's least like your character? Well, I was probably the least.
That's
'Cause I'm-
believable.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
totally
True.
believe that, especially after what you were saying.
Yeah. And I had to be so shy. Yeah. Yeah.
John
I'm gonna go with that.
Lovitz?
John Lovitz. They wrote that part for him. That's him.
Oh, it was such a good part for John
Yeah.
Lovitz. It really was.
Oh, that's
funny.
awesome. Well, I am
Yeah.
eager to continue with Megan Cavanagh, but before we do, let's take a break.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to Something Crunchy, and I hope you're enjoying the episode. It now pays to crunch down every week because we're hooking you up with big discounts from big brands. Up to 35% off Invicta watches using code CRUNCHY and apparel from 8080, where in addition to 10% off using code CRUNCHY, every dollar you spend goes toward an entry into the Dream Car giveaway. Don't forget to join the Something Crunchy Facebook group for updates, polls, and the web's crunchiest memes. You can find us on Twitter at crunch_cast, and feel free to send any questions and your track submissions to somethingcrunchy@gmail.com. Now, let's get back to the show.
back, crunching down with the one and only Megan Cavanagh. Yeah. Okay. I want to get into the story, chew on the plot here for a minute. If Marla stays, does that championship series even go to a game 7? Like the Peaches were really shorthanded and still almost pulled it off. No Marla, no Betty. Kid got traded, and Dottie decides to come back before the last game.
Right. That's a great question. I would think that the Peaches would have won if Marla stayed. That's my belief. But if Marla was playing on Racine, I don't know. I think Racine might have won. I'm going to go with but who knows? It's so fun to remember all of this and to remember playing. Like I played recently a writer from The Athletic flew out to Houston to take me to the batting cages for the 30th anniversary. He was writing a story about me. And it was the first line. He talks about how my watch, I have an Apple Watch, was trying to dial 911 because I was taking so many swings and missing, and that my watch thought I needed help.
There's a problem here.
She's flailing about out there. Somebody get her an ambulance.
I was whiffing, and he kept thinking like I was falling down. Did you fall down? We will call 911. I was like, no, don't call, no. I had to take my watch off, but yeah. So I mean, I would love to be able to play like that again, but my playing days are over, baby.
Well, that's all right.
To do what you did when you did it, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was an amazing time.
If Marla stays, I like to believe that the Peaches win because they already made it to the game 7 of the last game.
Right.
And it came down to the last play. If you add their best hitter back in the lineup, I don't think it even gets this close.
Yes, I totally agree.
I agree.
When I say we have debated the end of this movie, Megan,
I was just going to get to this.
Yes,
we've destroyed holidays with the family. We've made scenes in restaurants. We've discussed this at least a dozen times on the show. We had on one of the guys from The Sandlot and asked him about the end of A League of Their Own. We finally get a Rockford Peach to set the record straight for us. Did Dottie drop the ball at the end on purpose?
Here's my final word on this. I believe she absolutely did not drop the ball.
Wow.
She's too much of a ball player. Okay?
Yes.
She's too much of a competitive ball player. She didn't let her sister win because she feels bad for her. Like,
you're making Blake so happy right now.
It feels so good. It feels
Can I
so
just
good.
tell you that I feel like it's a little bit of an insult to even have the debate.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank
fight
you.
them. I'll fight
These two
them.
knuckleheads think she did it intentionally for Kid. I think it's disrespectful to her team, her coach, the game of baseball,
I
the
understand.
Peaches.
Yes.
Like, what are we even doing here?
On the cinematic journey, though, it's all about the sister situation.
Well, this was the 90s, right? So, and they did things like in slow motion back then, like, so they showed the ball hitting and slow motion happening because it was a big moment. I don't think it's because she was intentionally letting the ball out of her hand. I think it just happened. But it,
Queen of Diamonds. I don't know.
Dottie was watching Kit cry in the dugout like a half an inning before that,
She
and
wanted her to have
made the
it.
decision there. It didn't happen at the spur of the moment. It happened the inning before.
Two brothers are playing at ball. Let's say 2 brothers are playing, and one brother's really having a hard time. Is that brother going to throw the game for his little brother because he's having a hard time?
Absolutely
No!
not.
Get him.
But is this?
Because they're girls, it's like, oh, she did that because she's kind to her sister.
No
I'm going
way.
to swear. F no.
I think it's more of a cinematic
no.
situation
Lawyer.
than like
No.
I just think because of like the movie styles and like the feels that like you're building this relationship between these sisters and like
Dottie
oh,
knew.
did I get you in the league? No, you got yourself in the league. But like we know.
Exactly.
I miss you,
Dottie
kid.
came back
No.
to play the game from, turned around
That's
and came
what
back
I
because she
said.
loves to play ball.
This.
And then she hands the ball to her and says, lay off, she can't hit the high ones. Like, or, whatever. She
No, she
hands
got to
the ball
finish
her
it
and it's
out.
like,
She had to finish it out.
yeah.
I am glowing right now.
No.
I'm so happy.
No way.
You have satisfied a large portion of our family.
Does everybody agree on this? Like, would you
Not
say
this
most
portion.
peaches would agree?
Gina Davis won't talk about it. She said,
Because she
you know,
knows. Because she
And-
can't reveal the real
I
answer.
guess.
Because she doesn't want to embarrass people the way you two have been embarrassed here tonight.
On this
Megan set the record straight. You heard it here. The soundbite is clean.
Whatever.
If Dottie would have played another game ever again, I would have said you're right.
Megan and I agree that she wouldn't have just driven all the way back, put
I
on the
love that
uniform,
you're
got
right.
in the game just so she could hand it over to Kit and lose it for the
Exactly
Oh,
why
no
she did it.
way.
And
She
why
knew
would
she was out.
Her whole team, she would be completely. She'd be throwing the game against.
It'd be too obvious to Kit.
You
You
know
can't
what?
do it like that. She's like, no, I have to finish.
Blood
so that
is
Kit
thicker than water.
You know what, Megan? Some of them are going home.
Blake, you're absolutely right.
Oh man.
Oh, that just makes my day.
I'm
You
just
have
glad
no
she
idea.
had like such a great answer. I mean, it's
She did.
not.
Hypothetically, it wouldn't have even been close had the best hitter been on the team playing. So it doesn't
No.
even matter.
Whichever
It doesn't
team you
even
would have been
matter.
on would have been the winner anyway. So I mean,
Well,
I would have
God love
sealed
ya.
that.
Everybody needs
We
to
all
clean
know
up
it's
hitter.
true.
The real question
Oh.
is, do you think Marla's dad was able to fare out okay? Find someone to cook for him and help with the equipment?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, so cute.
Yes, I think Eddie Jones, what a great actor.
He was
He's such a great guy.
actor.
I think he got along just fine without her, and I think I know she sent money home to him because those were scenes that we cut, and he sent her a new glove at one point. Her dad
Oh,
sends her a glove, and there's this little scene between her and Kit talking about her new glove and how he sent this to her, and then that's when Tom Hanks bursts in and has to pee. It was the sweet little scene that happened right before
my
that.
Right before that.
I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking
Oh,
about.
that should
That
have
was
been
from
wow.
Marla's dad.
May, how long?
Yeah.
I still can't believe that was your first movie. Like, what a great scene that was too. Like, how do you not like just bawl your eyes out? And how Penny did like just the whole like we were talking with the American flag and like, oh
I
my
know.
goodness.
Will you sign
Yeah.
my son's baseball card?
Oh,
That made it.
oh yeah, and it tears it up, and and
Terrible.
Tracy, oh,
It's
so
so
bad.
sad.
Such a great movie, so fun. And I have this. I have a scrapbook of pictures from the movie, and I have pictures of like one day they would call us all to the set every day, whether you were in it or not, and Madonna wasn't too happy about that, but that's what happened.
Really?
And, yeah, and so we would, we'd all be sitting around for just hours and hours. Well, I had curlers in my hair, and I would always come to the hair people and go, "Hey, you guys, do you want to take these out?" They'd be like, "Oh yeah." Like they'd forget about me because I wasn't in the scene, and I wasn't, but I was there in case they needed me. So one day I left all of my curlers in and didn't go tell anybody and just waited. And it was literally 8 hours later, they took it out and I had like practically an afro. Like my hair was so
Permed.
tight. And it was like permed, yes. It was so funny. And I have a picture of me laughing, holding onto the ladder on the side of Penny's trailer because we were like kind of going crazy, right? Like we were like having like a moment, and I'm climbing up her ladder laughing with my hair like total curls. Oh,
I heard
so
Madonna
fun.
had some diva-like tendencies on set. Didn't she not like the actress they picked to play her older version?
Yes, she did not like her older version, but I don't know that she like was mean to her or anything. She definitely did not think that's how she was going to age.
She just didn't like who they selected. They thought that,
Right.
May would have, because they
Yeah.
did really,
think it was
I
a
thought
bad
they did
choice.
extremely well with near everyone. That's one of the best
Oh my
movies
gosh,
I'd ever
yes.
seen, that kind of transition
I
where,
thought that was Gina
Great
Davis.
casting.
like, where you're
So long.
wondering, like, you have to look it up. Like, is that not Gina Davis?
I
Is
thought
that
it
her
was her.
voice or
You
what?
know
Like,
what? So it's Gina's voice, and it's the other. And they actually had us all record
Wow.
our voices in case they wanted to do that, but they only used Gina's I think because their voices were so different.
Yeah.
And Gina was a star, and that woman, the woman, I forget her name. She was a 1950s model. And I mean, they really did look a lot alike. I don't think she was really an actress. I think she was a model. So, but yeah, Gina did, they dubbed her lines and
it was just great
so
attention to detail. Like, and that was crazy. Yeah. Very well done.
You have to do the performance in a little bit of a different way, but you're using that person's mouth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah. It's not like Gina did the recording first and then they did it. No, she had to match the woman's performance. So that, I give her even more kudos for that.
Absolutely. Well, we like to play a game on every episode and include our guest as well. Our Crunchtastic R&D department came up with something so fitting. There's been a number of baseball players throughout time with really strange names. And if you'll indulge us, I'd like to list some names and see if you could distinguish the baseball players from the adult film stars.
I love it. Let's do it.
All right. Oh, you're amazing. Let's play a quick round of Who's on First. All right. First up, adult film star or baseball player? Urban Shocker.
Urban Shocker?
Urban Shocker.
I'm gonna say baseball player.
She's correct. Already on the board. Urban Shocker was a pitcher who spent 13 seasons in the league playing for the Yankees and the St. Louis Browns. So
wow,
this was
my brain was going a totally different route there.
Yeah. Blair, you filthy.
Blair would have missed this one. Oh, all right, that's great. 1 for 1. It's nice. It's a good start.
She's rocking it.
Okay.
Lance Thruster.
I'm going porn star.
2 for 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Too easy.
She's on
easy.
fire. Wow.
What else you got, Blake?
Oh my God.
Wow. All right. How about Oil Can Boyd?
Oil Can Boyd is a player.
That's right.
Yeah, she knows it.
Dennis Ray Oil Can Boyd. Yes, he was a pitcher as well. Oh, okay. 3 for 3. She's really good at this.
Could you make this harder, please?
I know.
Give
All
her
right.
a challenge.
All right.
Joe.
All right. Rod Longstaff.
Oh. Come on.
I gotta go porn star.
She's right.
4 for
4 for 4. Oh, there's only 7 of these. You can't come in and do a perfect game. This is great.
Batting 1,000.
So funny. Oh my God.
Okay. How about Clint Orris?
Clint Orris?
Clint Orris.
Oh. You know, I know it sounds like clitoris, but I'm going to say it's a real ball player.
Oh, we got her.
Yeah. Nice. Not a perfect game.
Can you imagine her as a Clint Torres?
A Clint Orris?
Clint Torres.
So
that's so good.
You know there's one out there.
You can still throw a no-hitter, but the perfect game is off the table.
It's off the table.
All right, fair enough.
All right. How about Boof Bonser?
Booth Bonser is a player.
She's right. Pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. They'd yell out Boof when he'd come to the mound.
Boo.
Boof. All right. I got to pick one more here. We got to get her. Too easy. How about Chief Bender?
Chief Bender. Chief Bender. You know, I'm going to go porn star.
Oh, it is a ball player. Gotcha. Oh, it's great. Spending the majority of his Hall of Fame career with the Philadelphia Athletics, Chief Bender won 212 games.
What a good name.
That's a great name.
It's a great name.
That
and
is a great name.
Blair, call me Chief Bender later.
Megan, you're a real peach. Thank you for doing that. That was
that was
awesome.
my pleasure. That was hilarious. 2 wrong out of 7.
Not bad.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
okay.
Good numbers.
Those are good numbers.
It was a good game. I appreciate your
5 of 7 will get you into the Hall of Fame.
Yay!
I'll have a shadow box.
Yeah.
Well, before we let you go, have you seen any good movies or shows recently?
Well, Vengeance, the B.J. Novak movie.
Good call. I really like that one.
Telling you, I loved that movie, and I've watched it twice, and I want to watch it 3 more times. Like, I loved that movie, and that's a recent one. Let me think. I've been watching. It started during COVID, and it's continued. I have been watching the Marvel catalog, all of the television shows, the series in order.
You've gotten deep into Marvel from beginning.
In order.
Wow.
So deep. I'm up to season, I think 5 or 6 of, now I can't think of the name, and I've been watching them all. Hang on, I'm having a moment. Hang on. Of the TV show. Oh, come on, Megan. Let's see. And I've also been watching Doctor Who. I'm in season 9 of Doctor Who. I've been
nice.
The BBC Doctor Who?
Yes, the BBC one, yeah. And I had watched Doctor Who in the 70s, on PBS when they showed them, when I was probably in junior high, or I don't know, it was a long time ago. And that has been really, really fun. But the movie Everything, the one that won the Oscar,
Everything Everywhere All at Once. That was different, was it not?
Wow, that was cool.
Yes.
That was a different movie. I liked it.
I did too. And I was watching it with my 93-year-old mother and my sister and her husband, and any of those guys watched sci-fi. So they were just like, what is happening? I had no clue what was happening. And I was so glad that I've watched all this sci-fi, because of, parallel universes and people being different, and they just couldn't follow it. But I really liked that movie. I really liked it. And
That's good.
You think you'll love that? Tomorrow night's featured Vanilla Sky.
Vanilla Sky.
I haven't seen that one.
You're gonna lose your marbles over a movie.
What would you call your favorite movie of all time?
Probably It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life.
Great pick.
It's a popular answer.
Yeah,
I like asking
to
watch
watch
it, and that's a popular answer.
It's such a classic, and I quote that movie all the time.
Yeah, what do you like to quote? What are your
my favorite,
most quotable movies for Megan?
Let's see. This whole thing, I only wear when I don't care how I look. That's what Violet says. And, there's so
exactly
many
what
good
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anything new and exciting? I was just about to ask, what are you working on now?
I'm writing a one-woman show, and I also do voiceovers still. I did a Pixar series. I just play different characters in that. I don't have a regular character. It's Pixar's Cars on the Road. It's the new series that's come out this past September. It came out, and I play different characters. I think I'm in I play 5 or 6 different.
Wow,
Cool.
That's really fun. That was really fun. That was during COVID, and I had made my booth. I had to make a booth at home. Because everybody was recording from home, and I had to have this thing called Source Connect, and I had to this is how I say it. I had to become a sound engineer. But I'm an actor. I was like, I don't want to be a sound engineer. But I'd gotten my booth tested by the powers that be to make sure that I could do broadcast quality from home. And then I never did anything from home. I went to LA every time, even during COVID. Get on an airplane, get into the booth by yourself. I'm like, I've got Source Connect. I can do it. Oh, good. Yeah, we'll come to LA. I'm like, so
fantastic. Get to LA.
I got the booth.
Hilarious. I got the booth. So then I took the booth apart. I don't have that booth anymore. I just do it from my closet with a microphone, and we're good.
There you go. Perfect.
You've killed it with the voiceover work too. Jimmy Neutron's mom, for crying out loud.
Yes. And Jimmy's mom and a bunch of characters on that show. And yeah, I've gotten to do some really fun stuff. Oh, I have a new thing coming out.
What's that?
What is it?
What's it called? Hang on. I should find out what the name of it is before. Okay.
Give it to us.
So I do all these thumb, like Blair thumb, God thumb, They're all parodies of movies done with thumbs, and your face is on the thumb. It's just your eyes and your mouth. And it's
Cool.
Steve Odenkirk, who did he did like The Nutty Professor and Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. He's a writer and a director. He's this amazing guy. It's not Steve. Is it
There's Bob and Steve.
Yeah. Yes, Bob and Steve, right. So Steve is amazing, and he's this creative talent. He's got this whole like thing that he did, and he developed the head vice 2000. You had to put your head in this vice, and then you had dots on your face, and then you could only act with your eyes because you couldn't move. And these are so funny. So anyway, he has the new Star Wars one coming out, and I play Princess Bunhead, the Carrie Fisher like older version, like when Carrie Fisher was older, right? The I don't know which Star Wars that was. I sorry, I'm not up on my Star Wars, but so that's coming out, and it's going to come out I think May 4th. Let me see. I think I put it on Insta, so I'm going to look real quick and see if I can give you the name of it.
Yes.
Because where is it?
We need
For
that.
sure, May 4th.
There it is. It's called Thumb Wars: The Thighs of Sky Skipper. And it is, if you go to thumb.com, let me see if I can get there. The time has come for the Thumb Jedi to reign again. May 4th, 26 days, 3 hours, 56 minutes, and 7 seconds.
Thumb.com.
It's
Love
Thumb
it.
Wars. What's IX? Is that 9?
Yeah.
IX?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. Reveals the actual events of the final Star Wars trilogy in epic style as only thumbs truly can. Join the Thumbellion. Finally, there will be a satisfying conclusion. Sign up, and all shall be revealed to you first, before the other far less signed up people. He's so funny.
Oh,
my
this
God.
is hilarious.
Yes.
And then it
What a
says,
good group.
beware the nail side of the thumb.
Got to put your best thumb forward and check that out. Thumb.com. That is very exciting.
The power of the bun. God, I love it.
So much better than my website, wellplacedthumb.com.
Well placed thumb. All right. Is that part of the porn star?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. He's still back on the porn
Yeah.
adult film star baseball
She's like, I know what
player.
you're saying here.
He's like,
I know what you're
get it.
saying.
you.
He's like,
Yeah,
get
I
it.
do.
Thank you, man.
Of course. I'm so happy to have spent this time with you.
Thank you. Likewise. This has been such a treat. Thank you for being generous with your time.
Yeah.
It's been a thin slice of heaven.
I'm going to go home, give the wife a little tickle, and I'll be on my way.
Oh, you're the best. Thank you again. I really
Thanks, you
appreciate it,
guys.
Megan.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Have a good holiday weekend.
You too.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
She was awesome.
You know that feeling where you just feel so vindicated for being right?
Oh,
And you get to bask in the glow of your victory.
I thought we had her for a second.
It feels so good. You thought you had her.
Yeah, she did a twit and it was
She
like
had my
that.
back.
She did.
We brought on a real
I do-
peach, and
because
she had
she's
my
a-
back.
Her
She's an
politics are way
athlete
off,
as
but I
well.
love her as a person.
She's a wonderful peach and a wonderful person.
That Penny Marshall impression.
It was
On
spot on.
Point.
Oh,
On
my
point.
God.
Dottie dropped the ball.
She dropped it.
She totally
You
did
guys
it
are
on
outside of your mind. You're still on with this.
Yeah.
We only
You
have
know
one
what?
person left.
You know why we're still right? Because Gina Davis won't talk about it.
That's right.
Mic drop. I'm done. I'm out of here. Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Gina Davis is just sick of hearing about it. She can't have an opinion one way or another. She's just like,
She's
don't
got an
ask me.
opinion.
She's like, don't
She's
even
got
ask
one.
me. How cool was Megan? What a kind soul and a fun
Amazing.
guest.
She was so much fun.
Man,
She was amazing at the game.
I got some more of that game if you want to take a few whacks at
No.
ball player or ball drainer.
Obviously.
I'll take a swing.
Take a swing. You think there are men in this country who ain't seen your bosoms? Okay, let's see what we have here. Let's see what we didn't use.
What you got?
Ed Head.
This is a ball player.
Baseball.
Damn.
Too easy.
You guys always come on and you're like,
Your parents are funny though.
Name him Ed.
All right. How about Pete Lecoq? Pete?
Okay.
Pete?
I like how
Lecoq.
that's what you Pete. Let's not question Lecoq, but
Oh, it's baseball.
it's baseball.
Really? Baseball?
Yes, of course, Pete.
That's such a...
No,
You
if
can't
it
just
was,
name him Pete Lecoq.
if it was
for a-
Jacques the Coq Grande,
Yes, see Jacques the that changes everything.
Jacques the
See,
Coq.
Tyler's
is
too
different.
good at those. You put a French swing on, it changes the whole ball game, Blake.
Johnny Dickshot.
Okay, first off, Johnny mixed with a dick shot. is
Anything
like-
Johnny
I was
is
gonna
porn
say,
star.
especially with that last
Yeah.
name, porn star.
Gotcha. Ball player.
Wow, dick shot.
From
Johnny
what
Dick
century?
I think the last one.
Not this one.
Most likely the last one.
The last one. We got another one coming around.
How about Tom Wanks?
See these
Gay porn.
Toms and Johnnies. I don't know. Tom Wanks.
Yeah. Tom
It's a
Hanks.
great porn star name, but it's a ball player.
Biscuit got it.
Yeah.
He's a porn star.
Why do I even
He's
play
porn
those?
star.
I can't play against him.
How about Dick Pole?
It's too easy.
If your parents named you Dick Pole,
Dickie Poles.
what a Dick Pole.
Oakland A's, 1966. Third baseman.
This year graduating. Dick Pole.
66, yeah.
Pick up sticks.
No. Adult film for sure.
He's got it.
Come on. Mark it down.
Dick Pole.
I'm the winner.
You know I'm not writing down points for the
Boston Red Sox
zero
player.
chubs given here.
Oh, Sox? I thought he was an A.
How about Buster Hyman?
It's too good. Buster Hyman. Play. You can't even look at me with a straight face. No. It's absolutely a porn star name.
It's baseball, and I used to swim with his daughter, Misty.
Oh, she is. Misty Hyman is a swimmer.
Yeah.
It's a porn star.
Ah,
Buster Hyman is
It's a different
porn
Buster
star.
Hyman.
There is a
Different
Misty
Buster
Hyman.
Totally different Buster Hyman. There's-
Buster Hyman has a Misty Hyman. You're
There
making
is-
this up.
No, there's
First
a
of
Misty
all,
Hyman.
No.
you're making this up.
No,
No, she's like a very well-known swimmer.
Yeah, she's like the world record holder.
I like
And
that
she's a swimmer.
the 200-meter butterfly.
And she's a swimmer.
Yeah.
You make me.
It was weak. There's better.
Misty Hyman's way better name anyway.
It
Misty
is.
Hyman is a great name.
Yeah.
How long, May? Shut up, Doris.
Shut up, Jar.
It's good. Don't take it out on my daughter just because I raised her like a boy.
Oh.
Poor Marla.
Poor Hooch.
Those are great. I like some of those fun facts, and I want to see that 4.5-hour Penny Marshall cut.
Absolutely. I need to see all these extra scenes. I can't believe she was pregnant and like
Traded to Racine.
All
Her and
those
Kit were
snippets?
both going to be on Racine with Tia Leone.
they would have smashed on Racine together.
I can't do that. Who can?
Who can?
New Dream Card giveaway over at 8080. In addition to the 15% off you get for using code CRUNCHY, every dollar you spend gets you entered in for a chance to win a brand new Lamborghini plus $60,000 in cash. You do not want to miss out. Nor do you want to forget to check out SomethingCrunchy.com, where you'll find every episode or links for social media, and the Almighty Crunch Store, where you'll find all kinds of crunchy gear showing that you are a proud citizen of Crunch Nation. Join us every Friday night at 10 o'clock on 97.3 The Rattler, or find us wherever you get your podcasts. This has been another episode of Something Crunchy, and as always,
Don't ever forget to live your crunchiest life.
And be crunchy to one another.
Please don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, and all that crunchy good shit. All episodes can be found at somethingcrunchy.com and on all podcast platforms. Thank you for listening.
Evelyn.
Tall girl. Beverly. No.
No, damn it, Blair.
No.
Dottie.
Did you mean Blair Dressel?
What was that? Is that your phone?
I think it's probably Siri. You listening to me? Oh, it is. It wants to FaceTime Blair.
Oh my
No
God.
problem. I won't.
No.
Who do you want to call?
Stop it. He's a very sick individual.
I mean, I'm plump.
This is a pair of his socks.
But she's getting crunchy. What?
Don't drink and hooch.
Don't drink and hooch.
What's the sign to swing away?
Hey, blonde girl.